If you follow most advice online, this body would already be ruined. In this video, I'll show you how I stripped it safely so I can give it the refresh it deserves, and let you know why other methods may do more harm than good. This is a first generation Traxxas 116 Rally body. They don't make these anymore. When I bought it, it was covered in one of the worst paint jobs I'd ever seen. Thick, cracking, just awful. I restored the chassis underneath, but just like with the UDR project, this body was the final boss. With 0 replacements available, one wrong move using brake fluid, sandpaper or acetone could permanently damage the polycarbonate. Failure wasn't an option, so instead of gambling, I trusted a $15 product from a company that's been working with plastic for over 50 years. And today, we're going to see if this rare body can actually be saved. And if you've ever abandoned a project because the body didn't match the mechanical restoration, this video is for you. The chassis underneath was a complete basket case, which I've carefully restored. A bit like that UDR project we did a while back. And because they don't make these Lexan bodies anymore, or at least I have been unable to source one after searching for weeks, one wrong move could permanently destroy it. For any collector, this is a nightmare scenario. If you're into RC, you'll know the feeling. There's always that one project that ends up on the back burner long enough to be set aside indefinitely. For me, it was this 116 Rally body that put the project to a halt. Somewhere along the timeline of this 116 Rally's multiple lives, someone had decided to slather this thing with what looks like house paint. It's full of imperfections and just cracked and flaky all over. The worst part? The paint is on the inside, where it belongs of course, but making removal a surgical level challenge without destroying the delicate Lexan. This isn't just about making a car look good, it's about preservation. I can't afford to mess it up. The fear of destroying this is so real that the body just sat on my shelf for over 2 years, taunting me. I needed a method that's safe, repeatable, and actually designed for this actual material. My project was at a dead stop until today. At that point, I realized something important. This wasn't a paint problem, it was a risk management problem. I didn't need the fastest solution or the cheapest hack. I needed something that was designed specifically for polycarbonate and that removed as much uncertainty as possible. Because once this body is damaged, there's no reload last save game button. So after ruling out all the risky hacks, I took a step back and asked a different question. Not what strips paint fastest, but who actually understands this material? And the answer was obvious. Tamiya has been manufacturing plastic kits, polycarbonate bodies and the paints designed for them for decades. They don't just sell products, they engineer entire systems. That's what led me to this. Tamiya 87183 paint remover. And what immediately stood out wasn't the price or the speed, it was the intent. This isn't a repurposed industrial solvent. It's specifically formulated to remove acrylic, enamel and lacquer paints without attacking polycarbonate. No clouding, no brittleness, no uncertainty. For a body like this, something you can't replace, that matters more than anything else. It cost about $10 or $15, which, in the context of a rare shell like this, felt like a very small price to pay for peace of mind. I wasn't gambling anymore. I was following a process designed for the exact material I was trying to preserve. If you've been watching my videos long enough, you'll have found out by now that I like a process that works. If you want to use the exact same product and remove that uncertainty from your own project, I've linked it in the description. With the Tamiya paint remover in hand, it was time for the moment of truth. Let me walk you through the exact process that took this body from a total mess to a perfectly clear, ready-to-paint shell. First things first, prep. I set up in a well-ventilated space, on my workbench of course, and threw on some chemical-resistant gloves. The Tamiya remover has a pretty low odor, which is a massive plus compared to other nasty solvents, but safety first is always the rule. Now for the main event. The secret weapon here is a simple cotton bud. And the key is that less is more. You don't want to flood the body. I dipped the Q-tip into the bottle, got it damp but not dripping, and chose a small, manageable section to test. I gently wiped a thin, even layer of the remover over the paint, and then I just waited. You have to let the chemical do the work. That's the satisfying part. The paint begins to lift away cleanly, leaving perfectly clear Lexan behind. It comes off in these gummy little particles that sticks to the cotton or to the paper tissue. I later found out that using a paper tissue which was doused in the product, placing it on the body and letting that sit works really well. After about a minute or two, you can actually see the paint start to soften and wrinkle up. At no point here am I forcing anything. If the paint isn't lifting, I stop and let the chemistry work. For a body with thick layers like this one, I had to repeat the process a few times in some sections. Applying the doused tissue, waiting a few minutes and rubbing away the soft layer, wiping it clean and going again. This is a job for patience, not brute force. I worked my way around the entire body, section by section. The roof, the bonnet, the sides, the rear. It took a couple of hours of focused work, but seeing the original, crystal clear form of the Rally emerge from under that crusty old paint was one of the most rewarding moments I've had in this hobby. Once all the paint was gone, there was one last critical step. Clean up. Don't skip this. The product is soluble in water, so I gave the whole body a thorough wash with warm, soapy water to neutralize and wash away any leftover remover. This makes the surface absolutely pristine and free of any oils, leaving it ready for making a fresh coat of paint. The body almost looked brand new. No haze, no cloudiness, no new scratches. A complete and total success. Of course, the outer scratches were still there. Maybe I'll be able to sort these out later. Okay, let's circle back and talk about why this worked so well, especially compared to those old school myths. When you look up how to remove paint from Lexan online, you'll find all kinds of advice. Brake fluid, acetone, sandpaper, even household cleaners. The problem is, none of these methods are designed for polycarbonate. Some of them might remove paint, yes, but they also weaken the plastic, leave micro scratches, or cause clouding that only shows up later. And that's the issue. You don't know you've ruined the body until it's too late. So while these methods sometimes appear to work, the results are unpredictable. And with a body that's no longer available, that's not a risk worth taking. This is why the Tamiya paint remover is in a class of its own. It's not a hack. It was scientifically formulated by a company that makes both the paints and the polycarbonate bodies themselves. It's designed to attack the paint layers while leaving the plastic underneath completely unharmed. It removes all the guesswork and the fear. You aren't gambling with mystery side effects. You're just using the right tool for the right job, and the result is a perfectly preserved, truly restored body ready for a second life. I've never felt so at ease with a process like this one. Just trusting the product, trusting the process. That's the way to go. No hazing, no clouding, no scratches. The plastic is still flexible and strong with absolutely no signs of becoming brittle. And when you put this perfect body on the fully restored chassis, the whole package just comes together. It is, in a word, perfect. This is the part most people don't expect. Look at this bottle. After stripping this entire body, which had several thick coats of paint on it, I barely used any. There's easily enough left in this single $15 bottle to do this job 2, 3, maybe more times. It's not just effective, it's ridiculously economical. This wasn't just a restoration, it's an investment that will pay for itself over and over on future projects. This body isn't just saved, it's been reborn. So the next time you're faced with a project like this, whether it's a paint disaster or a risky looking used car, I want to help you avoid the costly mistakes I've learned to dodge over the years. I've put together a completely free PDF, a pre-purchased checklist for buying used RC cars that you can get on my website. That checklist exists because I don't want people learning these lessons the expensive way. Just follow the link in the description to sign up for the mailing list. That's also where you'll be the first to know about future paid guides like in-depth painting guides and workshop manuals for specific platforms. And if you want to see the real-time thought process and get a look at my Workbench notes for projects like this rally, that's all happening over on my Patreon. That's where I share the real-time decision-making, including the mistakes, tests and experiments that never make it into the YouTube videos. Thank you for watching. Now if you'll excuse me, I've got a paint job to plan.